Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've seen me before. It's time for monthly empties. I love doing this because I love to see all the things that I use up and how much I can fill up this basket. And for the month of June, I think I've done a very spectacular job, even though I do say so myself. But if you guys like empties, reviews, thoughts, just to see what people have used up, please make sure you like, subscribe, check me out on my other social medias, and let's just dive right into this basket. I'm not really sure why for the month of June I managed to use up so many products. I think one of it was just down to the fact that a lot of these had a lot of regular usage for like several months back to back, and that really helped. But I think it also helped the fact that there were some like smaller products that I knew I could use up fairly quickly, and I did do that. So let's just dive into the first thing, and that is this shampoo. I have had this for months now and I've been using it all the time. I use it every time I shower. I always double cleanse my hair. I use a different shampoo first and then I use this one, and I feel like it's really helped with a lot of like the dandruff and like the buildup that you do get on your scalp, because I do use products in my hair. Like I will use a leave-in conditioner, I'll use, oh my god, I need to look, I'll use like this hair mist, there's a few of them. I think I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products, so I feel like I definitely need something like this. And this is the Aveeno Clarifying and Shine, which is the apple cider vinegar one. I really like this. I think it does a really good job of cleaning my hair, and this is definitely something I'm gonna go back and repurchase. I've just bought in the other one that I'm using, which was a product I've used in the past. I'm not really the biggest fan of it anymore, but I really did like this one, and this is definitely something that's going to make its way back into my routine. And also this bottle lasted me for months, and we're talking easily like 3-4. So yeah, this definitely was there. Like, it was a solid product for me. I really enjoyed this, and I'm really happy I did get to try this, because people were saying that, you know, you should always double cleanse, but then you can use multiple different shampoos, and I found that this is one of the few shampoos that really works on my hair, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Next product is this one. This is the Schwarzkopf Keratin Heat Protect Spray. I've had this either since, I think I want to say since 2024. It's in my collection for a long period of time, and it did last me a very long time too. Not really surprised. There was long periods of time where I actually did not use any heat protectant because I wasn't really blow drying my hair. But then I found that, you know, when I used to complain, I don't know if you guys are like, if anyone who views this video is somebody who's viewed like several of my old empties, but if you haven't, I used to have a lot of like build up and dandruff on like the back of my ear, where like the hairline is on both sides, and it was really frustrating. And one thing that I was told, not only by my hairdresser but also just with other videos and like research that I've done, is to make sure that you dry your scalp, because there's like, if you go to sleep with wet hair, or if it's like damp, it can lead to like a buildup of like the scalp bacteria that's there, where everybody has it. So I started to do that, and I will have to say I did notice a big difference when I did that as well. So I would recommend that too. I think I did a really good job, and that's why it's taking me so long to actually use this product, because I don't always remember to blow dry like my hair. I mean, when I say blow dry, I don't mean like fully blow dry. I'm talking like mainly just like focus on drying like the scalp and the top half of my hair. The ends, they can just air dry because I don't really care. But this is a good product. I liked it. It's fairly affordable for me. I literally got it from Savers when I was in there like a couple of years ago. I think it was like maybe like £4 or £5. It's not bad. You can get heat protect sprays for like a decent price anyway. But I did like this. I thought it was good, and I already have a replacement, so yeah, I'm glad that that's an empty as well. This hair product actually took me a long time to use. It was something that I was always struggling with using and wanting or / remembering to use. So this is the Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate, and I did think it did a really nice job of making my ends feel softer. It's kind of like Olaplex, but this, I think it kind of maybe works slightly. To be fair, I don't know the science behind this. I'm not even going to try to explain that, but I really like this. I did feel like where I've got damage at the ends of my hair, it did make it feel softer, and I did like it. But I'm a very lazy person, and I'm still in a, like, for years I've been stuck in a really depressive episode. I'm talking like 18+ years, and now I'm finally coming out of it, but I'm really struggling with like routines and like sticking to things and like maintaining stuff and like trying to avoid, like, I'm always doom scrolling, so I'm trying to avoid those habits, but like it's really hard for me to break out of them. I've had this since 2024. I've used this on and off since, I want to say 2025. Like, I've had this for ages. I've been using it on and off, and it was literally like right at the end, I had this sitting upside down. The time I used it before the last one was literally there was a tiny bit left, and then I was like, oh wait, I can't actually just clean this off because there's products. So what I ended up doing was, there was like the tiniest bit left around the edges, like right here, and I couldn't get it out. So I literally just put a bit of water in it, diluted it, and I used it as like a leave-in conditioner. it's like a leave-in conditioner treatment in the shower. So I left it on for like 5-10 minutes while I did everything else, and honestly it worked. I got use out of every last drop that I could from here. I didn't like this, but I feel like for the fact that I'm a very lazy person and I do tend to gravitate more towards oiling my hair than I do with like doing any treatments for my ends, I'm not really looking for any just yet. I do think I have a few other things in my inventory already though, so I wouldn't go back out and buy this just yet, but I did actually like this. I do think it does a good job. It made my hair feel really soft. I did like how my hair felt, like how good it felt afterwards. So yeah, I probably would end up buying this. I do think Red can have some great products. There's one leave-in conditioner they have, this, I think it's called One United. I also really love that too, so potentially in the future, especially when I have the actual finances and means to do so, I will be buying a replacement. I think it was just like the month of hair care products. I also ended up using up this shampoo. I've had this for so long though, and it was something that I've used for, again, months and months. I do shower almost, well, I'll wash my hair at least every other day, and sometimes it will be a bit less than that, but the majority of the time it usually is every other day. So this is the Aromatica Rosemary Scalp Scaling Shampoo. I think this was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought it did like a good, like an okay job, but I wouldn't go back out and buy this. I bought this from YesStylez. If you guys ever do shop on YesStylez, I do have a code with them. It's Adila10, and I do make a commission, and I would be really grateful for anybody who wants to use that. But I did like this. I just don't think it's something that I'd be like, oh my god, no, I need to run out and get it. It was an affordable, good, cheap shampoo, and I'm grateful, and it lasted me a good several months too, so I'm always like happy when that happens. But I don't really think this is something that I necessarily need or want, because even when I was using shampoo and I would double cleanse and I would just use this to double cleanse, I didn't really like how my hair felt afterwards. Like, it wasn't that there was any residue, but I just felt like sometimes it maybe dried out my hair a little bit too much. It makes sense because it does say scalp scaling shampoo, so I probably shouldn't have been using it the way I did, and I think it did not help that I was using these two together, but then still my hair felt really good and cleansed afterwards. So I don't really know, but I don't think that was the best idea to use the two together. It's fine, but I'm just glad that it is another like big empty as well. So the last like actual hair empty I found is this. It's Hair by Sam Knight, and it's the Happy Ending Nourishing Balm. I thought this was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, I do think it did a decent enough job to slightly hydrate my ends and just make them a bit softer, but then there was another product. So basically I got a Cult Beauty hair edit. I essentially bought it as a replacement, not that I really needed it, but I did buy it as a replacement, but I guess technically it kind of broke my nose, but we're not going to call it that. We're just going to say it was a replacement purchase. And there was like a whole bunch of products in here, some hair oil, some like similar products like these, and like there was like a heat protector mini. There was a few things. If I can find a picture, I'll like have this on my hair. But this was one of the things that I took out and I used this, and it was nice. I think it did a decent job, and it was good to have done some extra steps to make my hair feel softer, and just, you know, when you get to that point where you've had your hair cut but it's been a couple months and then you start to see the damage and your hair at the bottom is just a bit rough, right? That's what my hair's like at the end at the moment. So that's why it's really important for me to use stuff like this, because otherwise I go insane and then I want to cut my hair off. This was okay, but there is another product I'm using. I do prefer that a lot more than this one. I don't think I would go back and buy this one, but I do think having a product like this is good, especially if you're somebody that maybe has like a lot of frizziness or the ends just need a little bit of extra like TLC. Like, I would say definitely have somewhere like that. Like, even now, like on this side, like there's a lot of hair, it just feels really rough, and that's a bit annoying. So I know that I'm due for a haircut very soon, very soon, because otherwise I'm gonna end up cutting it myself, and I don't think my hairdresser would appreciate that. But yeah, I was happy that I was able to use up quite a few products, because I've had some of these in rotation for a long period of time, so it was just nice to have these empty. This product, it didn't actually last that long. I was pretty much flying through it because I used it every time I showered, and yeah, it was a good product to use. And I think I do realize, like, the more I take care of my hair, the more I'm just like, okay, no, these products do make a difference with how my hair feels and looks, and it makes me feel different as well. So it is really important to do so. Next, I have two shower gels that I use up. So this one I've been using for months, and this is right at the end, so probably about like halfway through the month I'd use this up. This is the Original Source Tingly Mint and Tea Tree. I like this. I just like how it makes my skin feel, and these are like pretty cheap to get as well, so these will always end up being in rotation because the family buys them when we do like shopping. So it was kind of just there. I don't really go out and buy separate ones for myself. I just feel like at this point it doesn't make sense for me to do that, so I'll just buy whatever I have. But then if I've received anything, for instance like this one, which I got in my Cult Beauty advent calendar, then I'll just go ahead and use that. So this one I wasn't the biggest fan. I think this is more hydrating, and I feel like that's not something I need, but it does make sense to sort of use it in the summer, especially when, you know, it's like extremely hot, where we've had the heat wave. That's when I was literally flying through this, because every day I had to be in the shower. Like, the heat in the UK is disgusting. everywhere, if you've been to the UK and if you've been to like another hot country, you'll see like, if you're, I don't know, like in Spain and it's 30 degrees, you feel like it's 30. In the UK, if they say it's 30, it feels like it's 35. It's horrible, and the house are made of brick, so they do a really good job of like trapping heat, but it does mean in the summer you're basically baking. Like, I felt like a rotisserie chicken. The only thing I was missing was a freaking dancing pole, really. And yeah, like it's not ideal. The summers are really brutal here, and we've had heat waves already this year, and I'm really scared about the next ones that we have. I don't even want to think about it, but I did fly through this product. It wasn't my favorite though. I don't think I'd go back out and buy this one again. There are other products from the brand that I do want to try from ByMehshake. I do think they have some amazing products. I just don't think that shower gel was for me. Moving on to like the skincare type products, this one is like blown up again. I literally did empty it out as best I could, and the air just filled up in here. So this is the Beauty of Jazan Apricot Blossom Peeling Gel. Didn't really feel like it did anything for my skin. So you're supposed to put some of it on, just like kind of like do like circles on your face, but I felt like it wasn't doing anything for my skin. It was doing it for my it wasn't doing anything for my face, but I could feel like the skin on my fingers just like coming off, and I was just like, okay, valid, but like I'm not seeing a difference to my skin, so I wouldn't go back out and buy this. I think I got this from either a K-Beauty edit, from Cult Beauty Look Fantastic, or Boots last year, because I know all the brands, with all three of them, are doing different ones at different times in the year. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bummed about the fact that I've been on this no buy this year. Even though I could buy replacements, if I was to buy a whole edit, there's like so many products in there, but also I don't have the budget for it. But then I already have enough skincare that I'm pretty sure there's going to be enough of it that will last me to a good chunk of 2027 too, which is ridiculous. That don't make no sense. But I don't want to buy anything, but I'm kind of bummed as well, because sometimes it's really good to buy edits because they have some amazing products in here. Tangent over, this was something that I did buy or get from one of my edits, and this was okay. I thought like fair enough, but I don't really feel like it made a difference enough, or a noticeable difference enough for me to be like, okay, maybe I would buy this again. It took me a while to try and use it. I've had it in my bathroom for ages. It generally feels like it's been 8 months, maybe longer than that. Like I'm pretty sure I had put it in the bathroom like October, November time, I want to say. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had it in there, but I'm just glad that it's finally done now, and it's definitely not something I'm going to go back out and buy again. Another Beauty of Design product I used up was the Radiance Cleansing Balm. I actually really like this product. It didn't last me that long because I have had a lot more makeup days than I have done in the past, and I'm grateful for that. But this is an empty. I think this did a really good job. And there's a few cleansing balms that I really like. This is one of them. So is the one by Pharmacy. I also really like the LMS ones, but those ones are so expensive, like so expensive. And I used to also really like the Beauty Bay ones, but I haven't actually done any orders from them in a long time, and I don't plan to do anything from them just yet, because I know if I do, I'm going to be tempted to shop other things, and while I'm on my no buy, that's not really something I want to do. But I did actually use up this whole thing. I really like this. It's definitely something I'm going to repurchase, especially because now, if you're in the UK, if you go to Boots and you recycle 5 products, you take them, you have to download a separate app. It's called, I think, Recycle with Boots or something like that. You've got to register on there, but what you do is you take 5 products, you go to your local Boots, you scan the QR code there, you then just pop in the 5 products that you're going to recycle, you take them off on your app, and you chuck them in there. They give you 500 points, but the catch is you have to spend £10 on that day to then get those 500 points added on to your Advantage card. And to be fair, it is a really good way of saving or getting additional points, especially if you're somebody who's looking to maybe do like a big purchase. For instance, like, I don't know, maybe buying like the Shark hair tools, or getting the GHD products, or I don't know, I know Boots also does stuff like prams and other like baby bits that can be more expensive, or like even like if you want to buy like high-end perfume but like not actually spend your money on it. Like, I think it's a really good way, or like an alternative to sort of get to that point. So what I've been doing is, whenever I feel like I need a repurchase, I'll take 5 products with me. I'll go to one of my local Boots, and I will just take whatever I need to, and I'll buy the replacements that I need. And a lot of the times I am easily spending like £10-12 regardless, because some products will be like 12-13, sometimes more than that. So it's really easy for me to like kind of just go and do that. But I try to only limit it to when I actually need a replacement, because otherwise I would end up buying loads of things under the guise of a replacement, but then they would just sit in the back stock section of my wardrobe and just collect dust until I'm actually ready to use it. So I'm trying to be careful with how often I'm going, especially because I'm really adamant to clearing my debt, and I've given myself a 4-month freaking time frame. If I'm not done by the end of November, I'm if I'm not done by the end of October, I'm going to be really upset with myself. So I don't want to do that, and I'm really focused on this. And then after that, I'm going to go from a no buy to a low buy, and still try and have some kind of like a restriction on myself, because God knows I really need it. God knows I need it. I then also use up 2 Haro Haro Wonder products. I do like the brand quite a lot. I think they have some really good things. This Black Rice Hyaluronic Toner, I've used this, I think my second one of these. I love it. I think it's such a great product. Anytime I want something soothing but hydrating, like my skin will just eat it up, it's this product. And I love it so much. I've got a second one. I bought like 2 at the time when I did my YesL order last year. I bought 2 at the time because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fly through this. And I have so many toners, I just like pick random ones whenever I feel like it, because all my toners are from the time when I did the YesL order, so it doesn't really make much of a difference for what I pick. But I really like this one. I think it does a really nice job of making my skin feel like it leaves it in a really, it gives it a really lovely layer of hydration, but it's in a way where it's not like too much, but it sinks really nicely into the skin. And one thing I've noticed is whenever I use K-beauty products, none of my skincare peels and none of my skincare irritates my skin. Whenever I use brands probably from like the West, for some reason they tend to do that. When I'm referring to the West, I'm talking about like UK or American brands. If I've ever purchased anything from their market in the UK, if I do think of anything specifically, I'll let you guys know when they come into my empties. But this is the cleanser that I use. This is the Black Rice Moisture 5.5 Soft Cleansing Gel, because I felt like this wasn't enough for like a nighttime moisturizer. In the daytime, like in the morning when I would do my skincare, I would use this then. And I think for like the morning, for me this was okay, like because it wasn't too extreme and it wasn't too like abrasive. It was gentle. It was too gentle for evening, but it was like the perfect amount for the morning, where like say for instance I felt like my skin maybe just needed a bit of cleansing. This is what I would use, and I actually really like that too. I have used a few other products from the brand. I really want to try the SPF because I know a lot of people said that that was really good too, but really like that product and I will probably buy that one again. A single use product I did use up with this pack of wipes. So this is the oily skin ones from Primark. It's a pack of 2 that you get, I think for like £1.50 or £2, I can't even remember. But yeah, I use up this one, and the way I use this up is usually if I'm doing makeup with certain products, I'll tend to put it in the back of my hand, and then I'll just take the wipes and like basically wipe my hands. I don't keep like a makeup towel because like I have this thing with texture, like certain texture really bug me. So when it comes to like putting makeup on my hands, like I feel like if I was to use anything else, one, the texture of trying to remove it would send me into orbit, but like 2, it wouldn't clean it properly. So like I have to kind of use a makeup wipe, and I'm trying to see if I can find maybe an alternative instead of doing that. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of have to use that to take off any makeup that's on my hands. I got through a lot of products last month, so another one that I did was this Ritual Soothing Body Cream. This was so old. I think I've had this since 2023. This is actually one of my favorite scents from the brand, but I felt like the lotion was a bit too dry, and because I'm a fat person and I have a lot more body space, I feel like lotions go by very, very fast. So even if I only use a little bit, I still have more surface area that needs to be covered. So I feel like I'm flying through products, and it's not something that I would go back and buy again. Like I'd rather buy this scent in something like a hand cream than I would do in a lotion. I use this one as a feet moisturizer. Again, really old product. This is the Ritual Sakura. This is the Recovery Hand Balm. This is okay, but I felt like it wasn't enough, or it wouldn't have been good enough as a hand balm. And it wouldn't have hydrated my hands because my hands are really, really dry. So instead I just used this on my heels, and honestly it worked. It did a good job. Why not? And also anything that's like really, really old that I don't really feel comfortable using on my hands, on my face, I will literally use it on my feet, on my legs, or like the rest of my body, because why not? Like it's a good way of using a product, especially because if I know I'm not going to use it in its intended way, I might as well use it on the rest of my body because I know I'll fly through the product. I also did have an SPF empty, which really surprised me actually. This is the Pareto Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen. I shockingly really enjoyed this. I know there's like an issue with Pareto like a long time ago. I think it was the brand that had an issue, but this SPF was really good, and I did not notice any white cast either. And if there was ever white cast, it would disappear very, very quickly. The only time I think there was like a white cast when I used a bit too much SPF, and that was like more than like 2 or 3 fingers worth of SPF. But I really like this product. Again, I got it from YesDills. A lot of the times when you see K-beauty products in my collection, majority of times I have bought it from YesDills, and then occasionally I bought some kind of an edit, and that's how I've ended up getting it in my collection. But are we done with skincare? Absolutely not, because I have 2 more products. One of them is this Crave Beauty Oilala serum treatment serum thing. got this from my Cult Beauty advent calendar. I hated the smell of it. It's very chemically, but it was quite an intense smell. But I did feel like this helped with my acne pigmentation, and it did help reduce how red it was, and I'm really grateful for that. I did think it did a really great job, and I would actually consider buying this again. The only thing I've noticed though is Crave Beauty, they tend to like discontinue their products, and then they were like, I think they tend to reformulate, repackage, and then bring the product back out again, which I understand if you're always constantly trying to like improve the product, because I've never used anything else from the brand before. I wouldn't know how this product has changed, or if it has changed, or anything like that at all. I think this is a brand that does reformulate. I don't really remember, but I'm assuming that's something that they would do, and probably why they had to like discontinue. But I think this is a really great product. If it's still available when I'm done with a lot of my current skincare, I will go back out and buy this one again, because where I have such acne prone skin, when I'm always breaking out, and every time I do get acne, it always leaves pigmentation. A product like this, or like a really good vitamin C, would be perfect, and it helps in a really good and fast way to get rid of that pigmentation, which is really something that I do appreciate. I also use up this Tatcha Indigo Overnight Repair Cream, and I really like this. So I bought a pack of 3 minis from Sephora because I really wanted to try Tatcha as a brand, because everyone raves about them. Everyone has said that they're so good. I know they've been very popular for years now, and they've always been a brand on my radar to buy. So last year I did end up buying them, and I bought a pack of 3. This was just one of the ones that I have used up. I'm pretty sure the other 2 I will get through before the end of the year as well. But I really like this. It just felt really good on my skin. Like I'd still wake up the next morning and my skin would feel hydrated. Like it still felt so good, and I really appreciated that. I don't have the budget to buy the full size version of this. I ain't rich like that. But if I did ever have that much disposable income where I could buy a full size of this, I would. I'm not gonna lie, I actually would, because I did really enjoy this. Not that you're gonna really be able to see it, but this is like a sheet of those star face stickers. This is the Hello Kitty one. I did have another one where it was just like 4 stars, but I think I've lost it, and I've been doing a really terrible job of saving these. So I think I'm just gonna like toss them and not bother including these. But where I do break out a lot, I do tend to use these from Star Faced World, and I think they're really good. It stops me from picking my breakouts, but they're just like really cute. So I have 3 perfume sample empties, and these are all from Musk. I bought like a tester kit. I think I had like 8, maybe 9 in there, and I use up Amber Rose, Soft Paradise, and Zara. I really like the scent of Zara. I think this is definitely something that I'm going to repurchase, as well as like 1 or 2 other scents. But there was this one, just it felt really good. I also liked Amber Rose to an extent, and Soft Paradise was okay, but Amber Rose, I felt like after a little bit of time it just felt a bit stinky on me. Not like stinky in a bad way, but like stinky in the sense of like I didn't really like the smell of it anymore, because it kind of felt like it changed after like, once I'd put it on like after like half an hour ish, whenever I'd like re-smell myself, it kind of smelled a bit different, and I didn't like it. But of the 3, I would probably end up buying Zara again. I really did enjoy this one, but it's a bit annoying because you can't like get the whole product out, because there is still like the tiniest tiny spit there, but it's fine because at least I got 3 done so far. I've literally got the last 2 like samples left in my perfume collection before they're all done, and then I'll move over to just focusing on my full size, like, or like the midi size ones. But yeah, I'm kind of glad, because it's time for me to really focus in on some of those ones, and I think I might have like a full-sized empty next month, which is something I'm really looking forward to as well. For the month of June, I have collected makeup empties like on a mission. I have got 7 empties. I think that's a really good job for myself, and I'll talk about one of the easiest ones first. So this is the Essence mascara. This is the Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara. I use this. I think this was okay for me. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I wouldn't go back out and buy this one again. I feel like with my lashes, where I've like had this issue where I like keep plucking them, picking them off, they're now growing downwards, so it can be really difficult to lift them up in any way, especially on this eye. It's hard. On this eye you can probably see that they still look pretty well, but on this one it's really hard to like lift them in any capacity. And to find good mascaras at work, I don't really think it's that good of a job, so I wouldn't go back and buy that one again. But I do like the fact that I think it's like £4, so it's not too bad and it's not too expensive of mascara to use. And then I use up this primer. This lasts me like 20 plus uses, and it could have probably lasted me longer, but it wasn't something that I enjoyed that much. This is the Arborian Skin Hero Bare Skin Perfector. I don't really think it did anything with my skin, I'll be honest. I don't really think it added anything to my foundation routine either, in the sense of making it last longer in any capacity either. So this is definitely not something I'd go back and buy. Please tell me how this small little thing is like, I think it was like 15 or 20 pounds, I don't remember, but it was quite expensive, and I was like, huh, okay, never mind. Do you know what I mean? but I did get to use it and I'm glad I did. I got this in the HBT Carnival that I went to last year. I'm going to avoid going this year even though I really want to go, because I'm adamant on carrying my debt, and I think that's like a big priority for me this year. Like I really want to be debt free, and after that I know that it will then open up the ways for me to shop more openly and buy things that I need, and then I won't have a bigger issue going to these events. Whereas if I do it now, then I know I'm going to regret going, and it's just going to like push me back, and literally one day will turn into like endless shopping. So yeah, I don't want to do that to myself, so I'm going to just avoid going this year in general. And my greatest achievement has got to be this foundation. This is the NARS Glow, no, what? This is the NARS Cosmetics longwear foundation, and this is the shade Patagonia, which is M1.2. I feel like in this bottle, this is a bit deeper on me, so I need to go for a shade lighter, but the shade Patagonia and the Sheer Glow foundation would probably work better for me. Yeah, the shades don't really match up in that sense, so that kind of really threw me, but I have used this up now. This has been in my collection since 2024. Yeah, because I bought it from my cousin in the car because I needed a good long wear foundation, and anytime there's like events or weddings and stuff like that, this is the one that I'm always gonna go for because it lasts the longest on my skin. And even though like I'll be sweating or like my skin gets oily, but this is still something that will like last. It's not gonna break away from my face, even though I will get oily, but it's not something that I'll like split and do weird stuff. So this has always been like a rock or ride or die for me, but I've had it for quite some time and I really wanted to use that because I realized it also isn't the correct shade for me. So if I want to buy this foundation again, I need to buy it one shade lighter. I'm happy that this is done because it took me a long time. Like I've used this for the last 5 whole months plus whatever it was in like 2025. Like I've used it for a good 7 months, like back to back, and it's taken me so long to use it. Definitely worth the money though. I think it's a great foundation, but if you have like dry skin, don't buy it. Do not buy it because it's not going to work on your skin. It will cling onto your patches like there's no tomorrow. I have oily skin, and even then sometimes for me this foundation felt really dry and it just annoys the hell out of me. But if you have oily skin, I think this is a much better foundation for you to buy. The last 4 products are all lip products. I'll talk about the one and only liquid lipstick. This is the Kaleidos Lip Tonic in the shade Immersion. I've had this since, I don't even know, 2020, maybe 2021. So it's been in my collection for a long time. Okay, my light's gone. But I have used up a lot of this product. There's like windowing in so many places that you can see. And I was marking this because it was in my project pan. And I think I'd already updated it then, to be fair, but this was a really lovely color. However, if I used just one layer of it, it didn't really work on me, and I feel like I definitely needed more than one layer, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I was flying through this, and whenever I used a specific palette, which was my Revolution Allure one, the one that's in my project pan to like just use until I'm ready to be done with it, really, this went really well with that palette, so I'd always use the two in combination as a way to get me to just get more use out of this. I really like this. I love the formula of this. I think this is great. Even the color of this was really lovely. I just wish they had actually kept this formula in because I think it was a really great formula. Like it genuinely was beautiful. I don't know if they'll ever really bring something like this back because I know every time they do drop a release, it's completely different products, and I really loved the last entire collection that they released. I would love to buy the entire thing. I don't have the ones like the funds for it, but I will probably end up buying something from that like new collection this year for myself. But yeah, I really love this formula. For the last 3 products, they're all lip, and they've all taken me different degrees, and I've had them for different periods. The oldest one is this one from oops, and this one from Dior. I think I've had this since either 2022 or 2023 because I know I've not done any purchases from 2024 for Dior products at all. So this is an old product, and it's probably one of the older ones as well. So I'm happy that this is done. I was marking this when I did have it in my project pan, and there's literally nothing. Like whatever is left in there, I can't get it out, and I refuse to take the stopper out. One thing I will say though, I think these are very overhyped for what they are. I wouldn't personally go back out and buy them just yet unless I was somebody that wanted it for maybe an aesthetic or like a photo op or something similar in that sense. I wouldn't really go back out and buy this. I think that we have so many brands that do lip oils that charge a fraction of the price they have like the same, okay, probably not the same formula, but they do a really similar job, or they probably like perform a bit better. I don't think this was my most favorite thing out there, I'm not gonna lie. However, I say that, but if I was given it again, or say for instance someone bought it for me or gifted it to me, or I got it somehow in my collection somewhere, I would still use it because it wasn't the worst thing that I've done. or like use, but it's not something I'm actively going to go out and purchase. I have so many lip glosses and lip oils as it is, and from that entire lot of like products, if there is ever a product that I will buy again, I will let you know. But this isn't really something that I think about going out actively to repurchase. It's more so if it somehow landed back in my collection, like yes, I would use it, but I don't feel the need to go back out and ever buy it again for myself. I feel the same way about this product too. So this is the ByMehshake No More Tears lip gloss. I've used as much as I can. I've left it on its side by accident. So there is product in here, but I cannot get any more out, and I refuse to take the stopper out, because when you take the stopper out, it just makes the product, like a lot of them, really leaky, and I am not doing that to myself. There's a whole hassle in itself, and I cannot be fucked for that. But this product was nice. It did leave a beautiful like glittery sort of look on the lips. It did look stunning, don't get me wrong, but these products, I feel like ByMehshake stuff expire very fast, so I'm very like nervous about having his products in my collection, I'll be honest. And I know that liquids do expire a lot faster, but then I have other products I've had for even longer that where the quality is still so much better and it does last. This, I don't really think I'd go back and actively buy anything just yet. I do like this, his shades like these. I think they're some fantastic ones. So if I ever wanted to, I'd probably go back and never buy one again when I really needed it. But this is not something that I'm actively gonna go out and buy, because I have so many products again that I don't need to. But I don't know why I bought myself a green lip gloss in the first place. The last one though is this mini, and this is the Giorgio Armani lip plumping gloss. This is the icy something one. This is the shade 30. I think this is like the clear one with the silver sort of glitters, and my god, is this plumping. It burns, it actually burns. And I haven't used a lip plumper in a long time, and I'm not really a big fan of lip plumpers, but somehow I still have quite a few lip plumpers in my gloss collection. Please make it make sense to me, because it don't make no sense to me right now. But yeah, I have a lot of lip plumpers and it makes no sense. But this was a mini, so I thought I'd use it. But it made, whenever I use this on top of any lip combo, it really made it stand out and it looked beautiful. For the fact that I hate lip plumpers, I'll be willing to buy this one again, because of how lovely it made my lips look. And every time I use this, I would get complimented. Somebody would always ask me, what did you use? And I'd be like, it's this thing here. Burns, but it's amazing. If they release a non-plumping version of this, I would go out and buy about 10 of them. I'm not gonna buy it just yet though, because again, I have so many like glosses, but so many lip plumpers in itself as well, so I don't feel like I need anything just yet. But I have pretty much just used up everything that I could from this product as well. For this one, I did take the stopper out though, because nothing was coming out and there was so much product in there, so I did take it out from that one. But again, like, unless I absolutely have to, I'm not going to take the stopper out, because it just gets so messy. Like, I don't care enough with most of my products to do that. But that is all my empties. I feel like I did a great job. I'm not sure how it will work out for the month of with July. I don't know how it will work out for July, because I do have, again, a lot of products that either like half a use or like minis that I have, or like one use products that I'm kind of like trying to focus in on for this month. So we'll see how it goes. But makeup wise, I don't really think I will have any empties like this much for some time. But I'm still really shocked. I have been counting or keeping account of my total makeup empties, and I think last time I checked, I'm up to like 41 now. So that's really great. I'm hoping I can have some more lip gloss empties though, because that will like really bump up my makeup empties, because that'd be really nice. But that is everything for today. I feel like I've yapped enough. Like, this was a long video and I'm sweating, and it's really hot today as well. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. I'll catch you next week with another video. Bye.